So, all right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this session. My name is Damilola Robert, and I will be leading this session for today. Super excited to have everyone join us. Our speaker is already in the house, so we can easily jump straight into things. Please confirm you can hear me. I want to be sure you can hear me. Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for the thumbs up. So just a bit of introduction, and thank you so much for joining us. I think it would be great for us to have like a bit of introduction, and we can just do that using the chat. Tell us your name, where you're joining from, what you do. This is always a great place to network and meet other people within the community, especially people who are doing marketing, product management, growth marketers, content marketers, social media strategists. This is definitely a great place for us to connect and learn from each other. A bit about Growth Camp, we're a community of marketing professionals. Our goal is to be able to help young professionals upscale their career, learn more from professionals who have been building their career in marketing, especially those who are within the expert range. We've been doing this for about 15 to 16 months right now, and every month we've been bringing in professionals or leaders in the marketing category to be able to teach and also impact other marketers within the ecosystem. Our goal is to be able to make sure every marketing professional is well equipped enough to be able to solve everyday marketing challenges across different industry. We hope that through our session, we're able to bring in people who are well versed and who can transfer their knowledge and equip these professionals to be able to solve the challenges they face at work. And we've been doing this for quite some time. Over time, we've been able to train well over 2,000 marketing professionals. We've also hosted conferences in Nigeria, and we are planning to host our second conference later this year. If you join us for the very first time, please, you can reach out to us, follow us on all our social media platforms. We are on YouTube, so please feel free to be able to subscribe and watch some of the previous sessions that we've recorded across time. You can also follow us on Instagram, on Facebook, and also on X, which is formerly Twitter. We have impactful sessions, content that we share across board that people can consume and definitely help them in their career session. Apart from this, we also host Twitter Space once in a while to just be able to engage other thought leaders within the community and ecosystem, to just have conversations around what's happening within the marketing space. The last conversation we had was the fate of marketing, how AI is impacting the marketing profession. Should marketers be scared? What should be the knowledge gap that they need to learn? What are the information they need to be able to, get a hold of to be able to be competitive within the AI regeneration or generation? These are some of the conversations that we have on the group. So please feel free to follow us on all our social media platforms. Today we already have our speaker. Super excited to have him on board. We are going to be having a very interesting conversation, and I think it's one that quite a number of people have been having this conversation on. How do we build like winning strategies for growth, right? How do you attract customers and how do you keep them? Over time, we've seen that in quite a number of businesses, organizations are very great at customers. But the biggest challenges have always been, how do you retain these customers? Retain customers are by far the best kind of customers that you can have, right? Because the lifetime value is high, the profitability is assured because somebody becomes like a repeat customer, right? And people will tell you a bird in hand is far more than 2 in the market or even 3 in the market as it is right now. For a lot of organizations, the retention bracket is very low. I think industry standard, especially for fintech, is around 49. But we've seen people who are playing within the 18% range, and we've seen some companies who are doing fantastically well around 79% in terms of retention. I mean, anybody who is doing 79% in terms of retention in fintech is a badass. So for you, how are you able to learn strategies to be able to make sure that your business is sustainable, your product is making people stay, and the funnel is not leaking, as we would say in the marketing space? And we have an expert who is going to walk us through all of that today. I have a bit of his profile here. I'm just going to go ahead and read that, and I would invite him on board. So Azeez Adeniyi has spent the past 8 years navigating the ever-evolving world of marketing across strategy, SEO growth, and performance marketing. Over the years, he has had the opportunity to spend over $10 million in ad campaign across various industries, including e-commerce, B2B, cryptocurrency, and fintech. Currently, he leads the user acquisition lifecycle marketing at AfriChange, a global fintech company operating across Africa, the UK, North America, and Australia. His role involves acquiring, engaging, and retaining users at scale. But beyond the numbers and strategies, what excites him the most about growth marketing is the thought behind decision making, why people click, convert, and stay loyal to a brand. Today, he's here to share insight, experience, and some lessons from his work over the years. Without further ado, please help me put your hands together for Azeez Adeniyi as he takes over the mic from me. Thank you so much, Azeez, for joining us. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Damilola. Good evening, everyone. Just like you said, my name is Azeez. I do marketing, basically. So I hope that you guys have had like a productive day. We're just going to delve in right now. I'm going to be talking about everything I know, right? Not everything I know per se, but because we just have like 35-40 minutes to discuss and to teach. And yeah, without speaking too much, let's just get into it. I'm just going to share my presentation right now. If you can see my screen, please give me a thumbs up.
Yes.
All right, great. All right, so I'm supposed to talk about winning growth strategies, how to attract and keep customers. And while I was coming up with the presentation, I figured that I need to be as practical as possible, right? So there are going to be a lot of practicals, and then there's going to be theory, right? So I'm just going to mix it up. So attracting and keeping customers. I'm going to break this down into two, right? Acquiring, attracting, and then retention. Yeah. So before we start, we need to start with the basics, right? As a marketer, before you do anything at all, before you start putting out marketing messages, before you run your ads, or before you start doing your SEO or anything at all, you need to do proper research, right? And your research can come in terms of market research or user research. So user research basically means you need to research who your potential users or potential customers are, right? So I'm going to be saying users a lot because for people in tech, right, we call them users, fintech, crypto, and then for people who are doing like e-commerce or B2B, we call them customers. So I'm just going to be mixing the term. So yeah, you need to do a lot of customer or user research, and that involves doing like your customer avatar, who are the kind of people that are going to actually use your product or are going to buy from you, right? Who are people that will patronize you. And it has to be like very detailed. I'm talking about their age bracket, right? What do they do? What is their desire, right? Why would they even want to use you? What is the problem that they have that your product or your service is going to solve for them? Yeah. So this is the point where you do your proper user research. You anticipate who are the people that are going to need your services or your products. And then market research. Now, this is like very important because again, you can't start putting out messages if you do not understand your market, right? If you don't know the industry that you are playing in, right now. And when you're doing your research for your markets, that is where you have to come to understand what market awareness and market sophistication is. And these are basics that, a lot of people in marketing and growth tend to overlook, right? But they are very important, right? So I'm just going to take it one after the other. What is market awareness? So market awareness basically tells you the different mindsets of your users or your potential users at the moment, right? How do they feel at the moment? What is the desire? Do they recognize that they have a problem? Are they even looking for solutions to that problem, right? What are the solutions that they have right now that, that they have at hand, right? Are they happy with those solutions, right? So it's basically what their mindset, what the desire is at the moment. So there are 5 stages of market awareness, right? There's the unaware, there's the problem aware, there's the solution aware, the product aware, and the aware, basically. So I'm going to take them one after the other, right? Again, this is just the basics, right? We're still going to get into proper strategies, but before you even go into that at all, you need to do like comprehensive research. And, I'm just going to take you through that. So unaware is basically what it sounds as, right? The potential users are unaware of that they even have a problem, right? So again, they have a resentment. So I'll give you an example. You know how we have to like apply to job roles manually, right? You have to go search for job roles and then click on it, fill the form, update your CV and everything. We know that it's a problem, but many people are not even aware that it's a problem. They feel like, okay, that's how it should be, right? For me, I have a resentment towards that process, right? I do not like it. It's stressful. Yeah. So this is basically when they are aware that they have a problem, but they know that it could be better, basically, right? The product could be better. They could be doing things better than they are doing it right now. So at this point, you want to call out the resentment. You want to tell them, oh, so for example, the example I talked about, applying for jobs manually, they are unaware of how manually applying for job roles can be a problem and, it's exhausting, right? So that point is where you want to call out that resentment, like, oh, do you have to like apply for roles, 20 roles every day, sit for like 30, why am I even saying 30 minutes, 2 hours, 3 hours applying for different, job roles, right? So this is the unaware level of the marketing awareness, right? And then the next level is where we talk about the problem aware. So at this point, they are now aware of the problem, right? They are tired of applying manually, using the previous example. Like they are tired of applying manually, and this is the point where you want to call out the problem, right? Like, oh, you have to like sit down, apply. This is a problem. It's taking your time. So what are the things that thing is doing for you, right? It's taking your time. It gives you headaches. You have to like write new cover letters every time. So this is the point where you take all the angles, all the problems, right? And you talk about the problem. So at this point, there are certain people who are aware of the problem, right? And, they are seeking solution, basically. So you have to call out the problem and then, present your product or your service as the solution. Yeah. The next stage of market awareness is the solution aware. So they are aware of the solution, right? But they might not even know what the product or what the service that will give them the solution is, right? They are aware that they need to automate the way they apply for work jobs. Yeah, they don't want to do it manually anymore. Excuse me. They are aware of the solution. They know that okay, it can be automated, but they do not have the product, right? They do not know okay, what is the product or the service that can do this for me, right? So this is where you have to talk about what they want, the desire. The desire at this point is to apply for roles, automatically without having to like, click on multiple forms, right? So this is the solution aware. And one thing I need to point out is the people in these brackets get smaller, right? As the marketing awareness, goes down, right? The unaware are usually the largest part of the market, right? Followed by the problem aware and then the solution aware. And then now the fourth stage of market awareness is the product aware, stage, where now they are aware of the different solutions, the different products that can solve that issue, right? Um, and now this is where you have to now tell them why your product or your service is better, right? You have to call out the benefits of your product. If you're doing, tech, right? If you're doing e-commerce or B2B, you have to show them what is the benefit of your service, right? How is it better than the competitors, basically, right? Because they are now aware of different products that can that can solve their problem. It's like, oh, I need to save and I don't know how to save. Well, a lot of people are aware of Cowrywise. A lot of people are aware of Piggyvest. They are aware of different products like that, right? So now you have to tell them why you are better. Oh, we have safe lock, and if you cry blood, we will not give you your money, right? That's a benefit. There are people who don't want to touch their money. Like if they cry, don't give them their money, right? So you have to give them benefits of why, you have to call out the benefit of the product, basically. Excuse me. And then there is the aware. So these are people who are they know your product, they like your product, they want to use your product, but there are one or two reasons why, they have not started using you, or they are not using your service. So it could be a thing about pricing. It could be the fact that they are having to think twice if you can actually solve their problem. So they are aware of your product. They love your product. They want to use your product, but they have one or two, reasons why they've not started using your product, or why they have not bought from you yet, right? So this is the point where you have to do like incentives and discounts and all those things. So this is market awareness. You need to understand the different mindsets, the different levels of market awareness, and then market to them, accordingly. Because again, if you come to me right now and say, oh, you can save your money so you don't have to touch your money, well, yeah, there are people who are unaware. There are people who do not even know that there's anything as Piggyvest or Cowrywise or Fair Money and the likes, right? So the way you talk to them is different from someone like me who know all the products, right? Yeah, and I just need something extra that will determine which one I'm going to use, right? So again, the way you talk to different people at these different levels of market awareness is very different, and that's why you need to understand it. Because if you come to me and you say, oh yeah, we can help you save your money, I would not look at your campaign or your marketing messaging. I won't even look at it twice, because I know you can. I know there are many products, many apps, many services that can help me save my money. What makes you different? What is that edge, right? What is that thing? What is that benefit? That's the product aware. I'm basically at the product aware level / aware level right now, where when it comes to that, saving money. So these are the things you need to know. Now I'm going to go to market sophistication, right? And market sophistication is a bit different, right? So market awareness basically talks about the potential audience. Market sophistication, in the other hand, talks about the market itself, right? It allows you to position yourself above the competitor and stand out, right? And allows you to introduce an extra mechanism your competitors know have. So again, there are 5 levels of market sophistication, and I'm going to take them one after the other, right? There is stage 1 to 5. Stage 1 is basically when you are first to the market, and you just have to stake the claim. So an example would be, let me look for a popular example of a product that came into Nigeria as the first product, right? Maybe let me see. A good example would be, I think Piggyvest came before Cowrywise. I'm not sure, but when Piggyvest came the first time, all they had to do was state the claim, like, oh, if you are a spendthrift, someone that spends so much, this is a product that will help you save money. So basically, you're just stating the claim. What does your product or your service do, right? You're stating the claim. Again, right now, 80% of the people, 90% of the people on this call are not the first to their market. So this only applies to people who are first to the market, right? So it's usually easier to push your product because you are first to the market. You can do whatever you do, whatever you can. You can state the claim as basic as possible, right? And people will just rush the product, right? Um, excuse me. And then there's the stage two, where the market is still relatively new, but they are now new entrants. There are now some competitors, and you need to exaggerate the claim a bit, right? So an example would be Piggyverse just saying, "Oh, right now we now have we can when you save with us, you get certain amount on your savings, right? At the end of the month, certain profit on your savings, right? So you are introducing a new mechanism. You are not a new mechanism, but you are exaggerating your claim a little bit, right? The claim is already there. We already know that if you save your money with Piggyvest, you're going to get, some profit, right? You're going to get some dividend on your savings, right? But at stage one, you don't necessarily have to push that out. You just have to tell them, oh, we're going to help you save your money. Well, we are trusted by the CBN, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to spend your money because we're going to help you save it. Easy, right? At stage two, they are now a bit of some competitors, right? It's still a relatively new, but then you have to exaggerate the claim a bit and now tell them, oh, if you actually save with us, you're going to get, some money, right, on top of your savings. That's stage two. At stage three, this is where you have to introduce a new mechanism, right? People have lost hope in the initial claim of, oh, they can help you save money or you earn certain amount on your money, certain, percentage, right? Now you need to introduce a new mechanism. And for example, an example would be, oh, there's safe law or there is investment. The money you save, you can use it instead of just leaving it in your Piggyvest account. You can just, invest in real estate, invest in agricultural produce and all those things. So you need to introduce a new mechanism for you to have an edge over, your competitors, because people have lost hope in the initial claim of, oh, will help you save your money. If you recently people were discussing, Piggyverse, Cowrywise on X, and everybody was, if you notice, everybody was concentrating on, oh, how much do I get paid, or can I invest the money? Can I, open a folder for saving money to buy myself a car or something? I said folder, sorry, a wallet, right? In my savings to actually save differently, right? For a goal, for traveling, to buy a house, to buy a car, because people have gone beyond just, oh, I want to save money, right? So there is a new mechanism you need to introduce into the market or into your marketing, basically, for you to, capture stage three. Now, stage four, competitors are now using the same mechanism that you've introduced. And now you have to offer more benefits, offer more features, basically just have an edge over your competitors. And at stage five, you are basically, this is at the point where you are a household name, and you don't need to always, say, oh, we've added this, we've added that. An example is, and you just have to focus on emotion. An example is Nike, right? The way they do neuromarketing campaigns, right? Emotional campaigns, just basically focusing on emotion, like just do it, right? That's an emotion. Right now, they are not even talking about, oh, Nike has, the best sole. The sole is so soft, it's good. They've done that in the 70s, in the 80s. Nike is now like a household name, and all they do right now is focus on emotional marketing. So basically, this is market sophistication and market awareness, and you really need to understand it. In your free time, just try to read about it. It will make you understand, how you should actually market for different levels of people. Like again, your target audience are different levels of people. When you're doing your user research and you're doing your, user profile, you would know, that's where you know that, okay, my users are actually at different levels, right? So again, market sophistication and market awareness allows you to, put them at those different levels and understand how to market to them. Now, with the basics gone, I will then go into user acquisition. How do you acquire users for your product, for your service? Well, I'll start with performance marketing, right? As you know, I have worked in strategy. I've worked as a digital marketing manager So doing everything digital marketing, influencer marketing, and all those things. But right now, I've been focused on performance marketing for like the last 4 or 5 years. So this is one way to acquire users, right? Again, this is for people who have the budget. Again, you can start with any budget basically, right? There are people who do like 1 million naira spend. There are people who do like $100,000 spend monthly. So it's based on the level that your business is at. So this is basically running targeted campaigns on Meta, on Google Ads, Microsoft Ads, TikTok, Snapchat, app loving for people who are doing tech marketing. Say for example, fintech. If you do cryptocurrency, there are cryptocurrency ad platforms like Coinzilla, like Coin Traffic, and the like. So basically, this is actually like running targeted campaigns um, at your users, right? For them to understand your business, to know that your business exists, and then for them to convert. Now, there are different channels that you can run ads on, right? And the way to determine what channel you want to run ads for is very simple. Look at your product. Who are the kind of people that are using your product? Where can you find them? It's as simple as that. There's no need complicating it, right? Where can you find your potential? You've done your user persona, right? Again, your research is going to come into everything that you do, right? You've done your user persona, you've done your marketing research, right? Now, the people who are going to actually use your product, use your services, right? Where are they? Where can you find them? I'll give you an example. If you do e-commerce, right? If you have an e-commerce brand, there is no two ways about it. Meta and Instagram ads. You have to start with that, right? You're selling stuff. You're selling something that is about, say, for example, 15,000 naira. Maybe it's a magic umbrella, for example, or something that is like $20 or $30. Maybe just a physical product. Meta and Instagram ads is like a good place to start, and then over time you can scale to other platforms like Google Ads, where you can do like Google Shopping, Google search ads, video ads, and all those kind of things, right? So again, your product, your users will determine the kind of where you basically have to run your ads. For people in tech, right? Again, Meta, Google, TikTok works great because I use TikTok right now to run campaigns for fintech. TikTok works great. There's app loving, there is Unity ads. These are more of like programmatic DSP platforms, right? That work basically. Now, when you're running performance marketing, there are certain things you need to know. One is each of the channels, right, have different needs basically. So for Meta, you need creatives, like you need images, you need banners, you need videos, you need motion graphics. Think of anything visual. Meta, Instagram, they are visual, right? So you need visual aids, right, for your creatives. For Google, if you're doing Google Shopping, basically you just need to connect your shopping feed to Google Shopping to Google Shop, right, and then run your Google Shopping ads. So in this instance, you don't need like a banner or video or anything, right? If you're doing Google search, you just need to write your copies, basically. And again, like I said, these things will be determined by your user research and your marketing research. The way and so there is a lot when it comes to performance marketing. If I need to start reading out everything out, this will be like a whole webinar on its own, like how to run ads, how to ensure that you're targeting right, how to ensure that you don't do interest targeting, go broad, all those things, right? So what I'm just going to tell you is that you need to test a lot of things. If you're doing performance marketing, you need to test your creatives, you need to test your angles, right? So angles, for example, will be, people who are interested in just saving money, that's an angle. People who are interested in investing their savings, that's another angle. If you have like an investment platform on, an investment feature on your platform, right? People who are investing for the rainy days, right? Saving for rainy days. People who are even just investing because they are getting ready for, when they eventually retire. So there are angles. You need to test those angles, figure out what angle is working great for you, and just double down on that. The angles that are not working great, try to understand why they are not working. Do iterations, right? So you have a creative that is working, iterate on that creative, probably just change the hook or change something, run it again and see if it's going to just continue. So you have to do a lot of, a lot and lots of testing when you are doing performance marketing. I can tell you for a fact that when it comes to performance marketing, we do more of like 70% testing and 30% scaling, right? Even if not more than that. And that's not in terms of budget, right? I'm saying the work itself. You're going to do more of testing than scaling, because when you eventually get something that scales, you just keep increasing the budget strategically. Again, that's another thing we'll have to go into when it comes to, like, if we have to talk about performance marketing and other things, right? How do you scale? So yeah, basically, and again, metrics that you should look into. Now, there are important metrics when it comes to performance marketing. There's the CPC, CPM, CTR, CPA. There are a lot of them. But the most important one for you that you should pay more attention to is your CPA. How much does it take you for you to get a lead, for you to acquire a user, for you to sell a product? That is what is important. Now, I'm not saying CPM, CTRs are not important, right? They are, right? Because they give you some insight and signals into, what you're running, the campaign you're running. For example, CPM will tell you how much you're spending to show your, to get 1,000 impressions, right? To show your ads to 1,000 people. That will at least make you understand, okay, is Meta or whatever platform actually optimizing my campaign, right? CTR will show you what the percentage of people that see your ads that actually click on it. So it will tell you, okay, if your ad getting attention, CPC will tell you how much you are getting per click, how much you are paying per click, sorry. So these metrics are important, but the ultimate metric that is important to you is how much are you paying to get that final conversion that you're needing, whether it's a lead, a purchase, a sign up, anything basically. So yeah, performance marketing, running ads is one way that you can acquire users and customers. Another thing is SEO or ASO. So SEO, search engine optimization, is mostly for web, and ASO, app store optimization, is for apps. If you have an app. Now, for SEO, basically what you're doing is you're trying to rank as high as possible on the search engine result pages. So that could be Google search, right? When you search for something, that could be Microsoft search, Bing, right? You people that use Bing search. So basically, you want to ensure that when people are searching for that keyword that concerns your product or your service, you're ranking at the top, or at least page one. And the way to do SEO, again, it's a lot of in-depth stuff if we have to go into that. But basically, what you want to do is you want to understand what keywords are related to your brand, your product, your service, right? What are the keywords that people that are looking for your service? What are the keywords that they're actually searching for? You need to do that compilation, right, of those keywords, do their volume per month. And a good tool to do this is Google Keywords Research tool. Just go to Google, search for that, Google Keyword Research tool, you're going to see it. There are other tools, there's SEMrush, there's Ahrefs, but to be honest, just start with Google, search results, keyword research tool, and then look at, okay, what are the keywords? You can just put in your landing page and it will show you the keywords that people are actually searching for, right? And the volume that they are searching for. And then next is go into Google search for those keywords, look at your competitors that are ranking, at the top. What are they doing differently? What have they done, to rank on those on the first page, right? And then just replicate. Very easy, now there are a lot of SEO strategies, but the easiest one is replicate what they've done and make it better. It's simple, right? So for example, if you're searching for, how do I send money from Nigeria to Canada, and you come across, for example, one of your your competitors, they've done like a blog post, about that thing. maybe it makes sense for you to write a blog post that is more comprehensive, more detailed, but also answers that question. Very important. Write your blog post or your landing page, create it for users, not for the search engine. Create it for people, right? The people are searching for this keyword. They want to know, oh, how? They're asking a question. Your blog post has to answer that question, right? And answer it better than your competitor for you to rank higher than them. And then if you are doing ASO, basically there's something called custom app pages, right? Both on Google Play, on iOS. Basically, it's simply I don't know if you guys have gone on, say for example, you want to download an app, you go on that app, you see like their page, it shows you screenshots from the app, what you can use the app for, and you click on install, right? Now, that's an app page. Now, Google Play and iOS allows you to now create custom app pages. Last I checked, I think for Google Play, you can create 10. So for example, I'll give you an example. The biggest example. You could say, oh, for this feature, I want to create a custom app page because Piggyverse has a lot of features, right? And you can now say, oh, I want to create a custom app page for just the safe lock and say, oh, you can lock your money for the next 365 days, for the next 90 days, and get so amount on it, right? So you have a general app page, right? That talks about everything from savings to this, but then you can have a custom app page that talks about safe lock. That way you're able to like rank for that particular feature. If someone goes on to Google Play, for example, and say, oh, how can I lock my money, right? So that is how to do ASO. Again, there are other ways, but for the purpose of this webinar, I'm just going to take it as quickly as possible, right? So yeah, SEO and ASO, another way for you to acquire users. Now, the thing about SEO and ASO is they are not as quick as performance marketing, right? In performance marketing, I could launch an ad today and optimize it over the weekend, and from Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm already seeing results, right? But for SEO, it takes time. You have to continually, ensure that you're answering questions, you are doing your on-page SEO, off-page SEO, your technical SEO, you are building links, right? To your landing page or to your home page or wherever page that you want to rank, basically. So that's SEO and ASO, and then there is referral program. So if you have like an app or you have like a product, you can create a referral system that allows you, to use your current users as your acquisition engine or acquisition channel. Basically telling them, oh, if you refer somebody, you'll get so amount. They could also get, that amount as well. Now, one thing to note, right? Referral programs in Nigeria are very dicey. I have worked in tech for a while now, and I know that people try to game the referral system. So you need to like put a lot of care into, how you create your referral system. The fact that your competitor is doing one thing does not mean it's going to work for you, right? You have to sit down, understand your app, your product, your service, and determine, okay, what kind of referral system is going to work for me. And in doing that, you need to calculate your, user or customer lifetime value, your LTV, right? Your customer lifetime value is basically just, oh, how long is a customer going to stay with you, right? Again, your AOV too, something average order value, or your average revenue per user, your ARP, right? Like per user on average, how much do they spend, right? How much money do they send on my app? How much money do they save on my app? How much money do they spend buying my physical products, right, over time? So you need to understand this thing. And a good way to calculate lifetime value is, now there are a lot of, calculations, right? But from a tech point of view, a simple calculation is your average revenue per user divided by your monthly churn, right? Or your average revenue per user divided by your customer lifetime in months. So for example, if your users do on average, and a good way to actually calculate your average revenue per user is your total revenue divided by number of users you have. So for example, you're doing $20 million, you have 2 million users. That's basically 100,000 $100,000, I think. I'm not sure of that calculation. $100,000 per, that's your average revenue per user. That's just an example, right? So that's a way to say, okay, 100,000 is my ARPU, right? What's my customer lifetime, right? In a month. So customers will usually stay with me on average for 24 months, 2 years, right? You do that division, you then understand, okay, this is my customer, lifetime value, right? This is the value that my customers, this is their value within that 24 months of stay with me. So that would allow you to understand, okay, how much should I even pay as for a referral? Because hey, you don't want to go into loss, right? You need to make profits. You can't just come up and say, oh, for everybody you get us, you get $10. Does it make sense for your business? Maybe not, right? So you need to understand all these calculations, do your lifetime value, understand your churn rate, how long they stay with you, the average amount that they spend while staying with you to create a referral program or referral system. So referral programs are also another way to acquire users. Now, another thing is in-app incentives. So this is mostly for people who have apps, tech people, right? So you want to give them incentive. For example, sign-up bonuses. I know a popular app that does this stuff where they allow you to send money basically globally, where if you sign up, they give you like a sign-up bonus and say, oh, if everybody is sending from the UK to Nigeria at 2,100 naira per pound, per £1, you can send at 2,120 naira per pound. So 20 naira is that sign-up bonus they've given you. This is a way. Now, this is both a retention and an acquisition play, right? I will explain when we get to the retention part. But this is a way to say, oh, you want people to actually sign up, like, oh man, okay, if you sign up, you're going to get better rates than our existing users, right? So this is a way, this is an incentive. Oh, if you do your KYC, if it applies to you, right? If you do your KYC, you have a bonus waiting for you. If you do certain transactions, you have like points that you get that you can convert into, for example, money that you can send, or for example, transaction fee, right? So for example, if you send $10,000 over a period of 3 months, you get in points, say for example, 100 points, which you can convert into $100, for example, and then that money you cannot withdraw or send. But when you keep sending money, we will deduct your transaction fee from that money, so we don't have to deduct it from your transaction amount, basically. So these are, you can play this anyhow, right? So just incentivize people, tell them, oh, if you sign up, you're going to get certain bonuses, right? That is another way to actually, ramp up acquisition. Again, just like I said, for referral, you need to understand your lifetime value. You need to understand the numbers before you can do this. So you understand exactly how much or what kind of incentive would make sense for you, the business, and for your potential users. Next is partnerships. This is probably just influencer marketing, community marketing, and ambassador. So basically working with niche influencers to promote your product or service. So a common mistake people do is you just look at the numbers like, oh, this person has numbers. Let's just, let's give this person the work, let them promote our product. But are they in your niche? Like, do they make sense for your product, right? The research you've done, your user research, your market research, does the influencer fit into that research? What you found out, the insights that you've gotten, right? So you need to ensure that they make sense, influencers you're working with. You can also work with communities. Like, for example, I've seen old school and the product school, right? There's this community where product managers, right, of product managers, and now they are collaborating. So this is another way to do acquisition, right? Collaborate with communities that make sense for your service and your product. So I'm going as fast as possible. I see that I've spent about 25-30 minutes now. So I'll just keep going. Also, you can create like an ambassador program. I know that Cowrywise did this. I know another product that did this. I can't remember their name right now. So this is another way to get, acquisition. Because if you think about it, I have school ambassadors, right? These people graduate, they start earning money. The first thing they think about is you guys. Like, okay, I was an ambassador for Cowrie, like, maybe I should just be saving with them because I already understand them. I already worked with them. They already have my trust and loyalty, basically. So this is another way to acquire users. And in all of this, we can talk about acquisition and everything. And we can't talk about all those things without talking about tracking and attribution. Because again, the way you can optimize all these things and scale is dependent on how well you are tracking, right? Are you tracking every single thing? Are you tracking the conversion events that you really want people to do? And there are different tracking. There are a lot of tracking tools that you can use, right? Again, the very basic ones are GA4, Firebase, right? So Firebase for the app guys, for the tech guys, GA4 also for tech guys. If you have like a web app or a landing page, or you are an e-commerce person, right? You can do, you can set up GA4 with Google Tag Manager or with any other style that you want. Basically, you just have to track, right? So, excuse me. And then for the app guys, there's Apps Flyer, there is Adjust and the likes for you to track it. And then there's also the attribution part, like, okay, how do I attribute conversions, right? How do I even look at what is happening in my app or in my product holistically, right? And you can use Amplitude for that. You can use Mix Panel. You can use Segment. There are a lot of them. For the web guys, you can use a free tool called Microsoft Clarity. So what Microsoft Clarity does for you is this. You add it to your website or your landing page, and it basically shows you, okay, for example, drop-offs, right? Where people are dropping off. It would record, the interactions with your landing page and websites for you, right? How are people interacting? It will record like a 1 minute, video for you where you can even see how people are. Where are people clicking when they come on your website? Where are they dropping off? Where is the heat map? Where are people concentrating the most? It's a great tool, right? There are others, they are like Hotjar and the likes, but Microsoft Clarity, last time I checked, is free, so you can use that. So basically, you just have to track and also be able to attribute conversions to the different channels where they are coming from. Is it coming from ads, coming from my blog, coming from my emails, and all those things, basically. Now, so we've talked about acquisition. There is lots more to talk about when it comes to acquisition, but these are just the basic things that you should know if you are trying to acquire users at scale. Now, we're going to talk about retention. So retention basically means how do you retain your clients, right? How do you retain your users, your customers? How do you ensure that they stay with you? How do you ensure that they spend over and over and over with you, right? Repeat purchase, repeat usage, right? How do you ensure that your AOV or your lifetime value, this is where it comes into play, right? Is longer, right? How do you ensure that your AOV is higher? That's your average order value. Or how do you ensure that your average revenue per user is higher, right? So this is where we're going to discuss that. So first thing is to have a loyalty program. Now, this is basically ensuring that, your most loyal or your long-time customers, you reward them in a way. It could be, gifts every, when they are celebrating, maybe their birthday or something, right? Or maybe cashbacks. Just think of something that makes sense for your business. Create a loyalty program. Ensure that the reward makes sense. Very important. Ensure that the reward makes sense to the users or the customers. I'll give you an example. If your user is spending, for example, on your app, they are transacting around 100 million naira per month. It doesn't make sense for you to say, we're going to give you a cashback of 100,000 or 10,000. It's free money. They're getting money back. But think about it. For someone doing 100 million per month, right? 10,000 naira cashback is nothing to them. So you need to think about it. How is this going to make sense for the business? And most importantly, for the users or the customers, right? So create a loyalty program, reward your longest, your long-time customers and users, so that they understand that, okay, these people see what I'm doing, they understand, they appreciate that I'm using their product, or I'm buying for them for like the last 7-8 years. So this is one way to retain your customers. Another thing is building a community around your users, right? So for example, you could say, oh, we want to build like a beta tester community, right? And you say, oh, these are the emails of our most loyal, users, people that have been with us for a long time. You send them an email and say, oh, we are creating a community where you can beta test new features before they go live, right? And, we'll reward you. It could be something as small as, oh, we'll just deposit some money into your wallet, on the app. So this way, they have like a sense of belonging. Before you know it, they start thinking, okay, I'm part of the team, right? I'm part of the business, yeah? So you build a community around your users, right? Make them feel like, okay, they are part of you. They've been using you for years. They've been loyal to your brand. Then you need to make them, a part of the brand, or a part of the service or the product in a way, right? And reward them for participating, basically. That's another way to retain your users. And finally, there's something called lifecycle marketing. And this is basically for, where you basically draw the user journey, right, of your users, and the events that you want them to trigger at every level of the user journey. So you basically say, okay, from sign up to first transaction, how does the user journey go, right? Oh, they fill the first form, and then they give us more details. They get access to the onboarding dashboard. They confirm their email, right? And then next, they start KYC or ID verification. And then next, their ID verification gets approved. Maybe they add extra information, and then they add money to their wallet and do their first transaction. That's a whole user journey, right? So you need to understand the user journey, and then basically craft messages, right? For each of those user journeys. So for example, if somebody puts in their email address and name and phone number, and there are still certain forms, maybe in the next page, where they're supposed to, fill in something, and they just ghost, and they just go on. It will make sense to have messages that could come in terms of emails, that could come in terms of push notification to say, oh, we noticed that you signed up, or you didn't complete your sign up. This is, this is what you would get. This is why you should even complete your sign up. Oh, we have the best rate. Oh, this is what you get from us that you won't get from other people. This is the reason why you should, do that thing that we want you to do. So basically, every step. Oh, okay, now the person is done with signing up, and then it's KYC. They are not starting KYC. You need to, send them messages saying, oh, this is why you should do your KYC. This is why you should complete your KYC today. We have a promo that's ongoing. Blah, blah. So basically, lifecycle marketing is ensuring that you engage with your users or your customers at every level of their user journey. Every level, right? And one thing I always say to people is, when you are setting up this thing, you have to work with data. Very important, because again, data will tell you, for example, how much message should you even be sending out, right? What's the frequency? Should you be sending the message every week? Is it every day for the next 5 days? Your data is going to tell you that, right? What kind of message should you even be sending, right? Is it that the reason why they are not completing sign up is because it is you have data to back it that, oh, the sign up is too long? So in your messaging, you can say, oh, we know, you can speak to their desire, you can speak to their resentment, like, okay, it's too long, right? So we know that it's long, but we're doing it because of you, to safeguard your information and all those kind of things. So basically, you need to use data when you are setting up your lifecycle marketing. You need to ensure what kind of message you even want to send out. Do you want to send only emails? Do you want to send push notifications? Do you want to mix them? Do you want the message to go within 30 days, 3 messages in 30 days, 3 emails in 30 days, 5 in 30 days, 30 in 30 days? An example, right? How do you want it? So you need to basically do like a proper comprehensive user journey. Unfortunately, I have one that I can't really show, but yeah, you can go to miro.com, MIRO, and just do like a flow of how your users will move through your product or move through your website to purchase your physical product or whatever you're selling, right? And then craft specific messages, relevant messages for each of those user journey levels to ensure that they take those actions that you want them. And you will just see that you're retaining your customers instead of them dropping off as KYC. You see that okay, your KYC completion rate is increasing and they are moving to the next stage where it is first transaction. And if they do not do that, they are already carefully crafted messages that are going to convince them to actually do the first transaction. It could be special rates. It could be if you do your transaction now, you're setting yourself up to get points that you can then use later on for anything as a gift card or anything. So yeah, lifecycle marketing is proper, like it's a whole thing on its own. It's important for you to engage. It's very important for you, right, to engage and to retain your users using lifecycle marketing. So that is everything that I have for you today. This is 7, right? So if you have any questions, you can start asking. Thank you.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Azeez. This has been very insightful. I absolutely love this conversation. I think there's so much more to learn from it. I'm super excited to have you, and thank you so much for joining this session. I'm sure we have like a lot of people with questions. Even just listening to you, I think there's so much more individuals can just glean. Before we go straight into the question, just because of the conversation we are having, I've always thought about wanting to set up a workshop. And because of one of the biggest challenges which I've seen within the marketing space is the fact that we have a lot of theoretical marketers and not a lot of marketers actually understand analytics. So in my head, I'm thinking the next half of the year or probably the next quarter, just depending on, because we already have like some speakers that are already scheduled. I want to do a workshop on analytics. And this is going to be like practical session on how to use Google Analytics, right? How to use Mixpanel, for example, how to use AppFlyer, how to use Adjust, and just coming on board and having to teach people like from stage 1 to stage whatever it is that you want to get to. Because there are like a lot of us that are also very lazy. Like, for example, if you want to learn Google Analytics, Google already has the course on Google Analytics from beginners to experts, but a lot of people don't go online to watch it. Like I tell people, if you are a marketing professional, YouTube is your best friend. Like it's good to buy courses. It's great to buy courses, but trust me, there's nothing a course wants to teach you that you cannot get for free on YouTube, right?
I agree.
So,
8-9 years ago, everything I learned from YouTube, actually.
Absolutely. Myself, my performance marketing was all on YouTube.
Doing the work, basically. So yeah, I agree with
you. Great. So I think we'll go into asking questions now, but I'm just giving like the community members of what I'm thinking around. So I'll probably get experts. I'll take some classes myself, right, to be able to do a proper workshop on analytics. Because how do you want to call yourself a marketer in 21st century and you don't understand data, you can't interpret data, and you're not able to make informed decisions just based on what your data is telling you? I think those are like pretty much fundamentals that we should learn. Thank you so much, Azeez. So we'll go straight into question. Christopher, please, you're free to unmute and speak and ask your question.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Azeez. Thank you so much for that insightful presentation. My question would be around the SEO aspect of this conversation, because like you mentioned, I know like it's a bit complex and technical. On the other hand, I would still love you to like shed a little bit more light on some free tools we can use for keyword research and all of that, because I mean, while SEO is not particularly big in Nigeria as it is in the West, it is still essential for marketing. So that's my. So can you like share more?
Yes. Thank you for that question, Christopher. So, SEO is actually big in Nigeria. Yeah, thank you. It is big everywhere. Um, so I would say years ago, right, when I worked as an SEO specialist for RNW, they are a social change company in Netherlands, and they had a project going on in Nigeria. I would have said that, well, maybe I didn't know a lot of SEO experts then. In fact, when I learned from, my boss, Lekon, at the time, I didn't know a lot of SEO experts. But right now, SEO is bigger than it used to be like 5, 6 years, 7, 8 years ago. So yes, SEO is big in Nigeria. But, to answer your question about SEO, so SEO is, it's basically ensuring that people find you when they are looking for you, right? SEO is targeted at people who are already looking for you. Let me put it that way. But you need to now ensure that you are at the top of that search result page. So SEO can be classified into 3, as much as I know. Some people might say more than that, but there is the on-site, the off-site, and then link building. So on-site is basically ensuring that everything on your website is optimized properly for SEO. So an example is ensuring that your page titles are optimized for that page, right? If your page is about cooking pots, right, or say so the title should be talking about cooking pots without flooding the title with keywords, just strategically ensuring that it shows that you're talking about cooking pots, because Google's crawler is going to crawl your page, and for it to crawl your page, it's going to look at your page title, your page description first before it even looks at the content. And that's the way it's going to be able to tell that, okay, this page is talking about cooking pots, right? So you have to ensure that your on-page SEO is on point. One way to do proper on-page SEO, I'm not sure, they used to have like a 5,000 units free, usage before you have to pay, is a Screaming Frog. So Screaming Frog is a tool that allows you to put in your website. It crawls your website and tells you the pages that are SEO compliant and the ones that need work, right? It basically tells you this page, the SEO is bad, it needs work. This page, the SEO is good. So you can look at Screaming Frog. You asked about tools for on page, right? That would basically show you it will tell you if you have canonicals on your page. So canonical is another on-page thing, and these are like both technical stuff. So I'm just going to stay on the basics. In terms of off-page, that is where you then do your competitor research and say, okay, so on-page again, your blog articles, all those things, ensuring that they are SEO compliant. Your off-page is where you now go and say, okay, my competitors, what are they doing? You go and look at your competitors, you spy on them. There are a lot of things. There's Spyful. It's not free per se. I don't think Spyful is free, but one free one is Keywords Everywhere, where you do like proper keyword research. You can use keywords everywhere. You can use Oversuggest. You can use those ones I know are free to an extent. SEMrush, Ahrefs are expensive, but I think they give you certain searches per day. I think 10 per day or so, 5 per day. So you can look at that as well. So basically doing keyword research, looking at what your competitors are doing and trying to replicate and do better. That's off page. And then there is the link building. Now, if you do on page and you do off page and you don't build links to your website or your landing page, how do I put this? I don't want to sound pessimistic, right? Yeah, the on page and off page is going to help you to an extent, but the link building is like the king, right? You need to build proper links. And when I say proper links, there are different kind of links, right? There is the do follow, there's the no follow. Exactly, pouring water into basket. There's the do follow links, there's the no follow links. So do follow links are links that add to your SEO. No follow links are links that do not necessarily add to your SEO, but they also help, right? So there are links that, you know, they will not add anything passive, but they will help, right? So build links from, you know, high authority websites to your own website or to your own landing page. So for example, if you are able to, there are people who sell link building. I do not, you know, I don't have an opinion on that. I don't know if you should buy it or not. You can do your own research and create your links yourself. So for example, if you have a link from Forbes, for example, and you have a link from Niger Loaded, tell me which one is much more quality. Definitely Forbes, right? So two things you need to ensure. You need to ensure that the website you're getting your links from make sense for your business, right? You can't be selling Pomo and you are getting links from, you are doing build linking from Forbes. Doesn't work like that. Google is not going to take you seriously, right? So if you are doing finance, maybe, you know, have your links coming from SNBC, MSNBC, or, you know, forgotten the name, or from Nairametrics. You know, if you're doing, basically just ensure that you are in the same industry, but the link is an high authority link. That's the first one. The second one is just ensure that it's the website you are getting the link from is high authority. So there is something they call domain authority, DA, right? So look at the domain authority of the website where you're getting the link from. A good domain authority starts from like 65, 70 upwards, right? If you're able to get links from websites with good domain authorities, you're good, right? You know, it helps with your SEO. One way to get links. So one, you might be thinking, how do I even get these links? Because I'm not going to write, if you write to Forbes, they'll be like, bro, nobody's going to answer you. But one way you can do it is pitch articles to them and say, oh, I have an article that your users would like, right? And in that article, I'm going to have a link that is linked to my own page or my landing page. Some of them will say yes, right? Another way is there's something called SEMrush has a tool called 404 error checker or something. It's an error checker. So basically, you put in maybe one of your competitors, and then it shows you the links that they've built, right? It shows you the link that they've built from your from one of their domain authority websites, and show anyone that has an error code. Maybe, oh, they link to one of their pages, and that page is no more, right? It's showing a 404 error, basically. You can just reach out to, say, for example, they linked from Forbes and say, do you know that this page that you linked to is no more, right? And it's not good for your users. But I have an article like that, or even a better one that you can link to. I've done it, it worked for me, right? I basically combed through my competitors, link building system and found all the pages that they built link to that does not exist anymore. And I reached out to the people that they built the link from and say, oh, they are linking to this page, it doesn't exist anymore. I have a better article, to that one, compared to that one, you can link to me. And I was able to build links. So SEO is very, very technical. If we start talking today, it will take us 3 hours to go through the whole thing and we will still be done. So yeah, Christopher, I hope I have been able to answer your questions and I've given you some tools that you can use for free to start with.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right. Yeah, so I also think that your strategy is so important. It makes a lot of sense. So when you reach out to competitors, for them, it's a broken link because the link is leading nowhere. And Google does not like broken links. So for them, it's not great for their own SEO. The fact that they have a broken link on their own blog is not good. So you can reach out to them and say, I'm doing you a favor. Because right now, Google is not happy with the fact that you have a broken link on your own blog, right? So you can just link to my article and it's helping you in terms of SEO. You too, it's beneficial for you in terms of your SEO and link building. Awesome, good one. We've passed our time and we would not be able to take further questions. I would like to appreciate everyone for joining today's session. Thank you so much, Azeez, for the wealth of knowledge. This is so interesting. Thank you for having to impact the entire community. The video is going to be live on YouTube sometime next week, so you can please watch it again, learn a lot more. Christopher, if you want to learn more around SEO, we had a session last year. Please, you can click the link and you can just check out some of the videos, some of the past videos that we have on Growth Camp. Please also, if you are here, try as much as possible to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have like tons of information, tons of content that can help you build and become a better marketer. It's available and it's for free. So please feel free to be able to watch those sessions when you are not there. Thank you so much for joining the session. Next one is going to happen next month. Again, we are planning for the Growth Camp, not Star Conference happening this year. I did a couple of work around it today, and I'm excited about what we're going to be doing. So for those who are going to be in Abuja, I was thinking I was going to do a Lagos conference this year, but man, I'm going to stick to my city. You guys have a lot of conferences already in Lagos. So let the Abuja folks, they will be enjoying North Star Conference this year. So super excited about that. Thank you very much, everyone. And I see you in the next session. Have a great one. Bye.
Bye, everyone.